On the left-hand side of the screen is the 2026 Honda CR-V, and on the right-hand side of the screen is the 2026 Honda Passport. And based on a request in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to do a comparison between these two models. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Holmes Honda in Bossier City, Louisiana. If you want to know more about either one of these models, I'll leave a link down in the description of the video. Now the Passport, fully redesigned for 2026. Everything is different, a lot of upgrades. I'll show you what you can expect to find if this is something you want to buy. Now we did find a refresh for the 2026 model year for the CR-V. The biggest change is the addition of the TrailSport trim level. And while it isn't anything different than what we typically see with other models, such as the TrailSport with the Passport, there are going to be some additions and some changes. Standard equipment that used to not be standard for 2026 across all trim levels of the CR-V. One of the big changes you'll find, or should I say additions, is the ash green exterior color here on the TrailSport trim level. As you can see, you're in the bright Louisiana sunshine. And the base price for the CR-V, if you go non-hybrid, is going to be $30,920. The base price on the Passport is $44,750. And you may wonder, why is there such a difference? Well, first of all, a larger vehicle. Unlike the CR-V, depending on your trim level, you can go all-wheel drive. You can also go front-wheel drive. On some trim levels, such as the TrailSport trim level, all-wheel drive is standard. All-wheel drive is standard on the Passport across all trim levels. You also have a larger motor and a completely different type of transmission. So there are going to be some differences when it comes to these two models. And one of those differences will be seen in the overall exterior design. If I was going to say one looked maybe a little more sporty than the other, I would definitely go with the CR-V. And while it has somewhat of a squared off look, it has a few more lines to it, we'll say, than what you will find with the Passport. You will find LED headlights and LED daytime running lights, but here is something on the Passport that you won't find on the CR-V. What we have right here, fog lights. And I know a lot of you are looking for that, but as I said, a much more squared off look. You'll still find the LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. Both of these models are the TrailSport trim level, so we're going to have that same TrailSport logo in the, well, a similar place, we'll say, on the front end. Gloss black with the grills. But something you won't find on the CR-V is the faux vent right here, or faux intake, we'll say, air intake. It doesn't actually function, it's just there purely for looks. But you won't find that here, so you have a lot of hood space that doesn't have any kind of a breakup to it. Some people might say, you know what, Tom, that's not a big deal to me. One thing that is different between the TrailSport trim levels here is that you will find some underbody protection with the Passport. You will also find the orange recovery hooks. Those are things you won't find on the CR-V. If you want to be a little higher off the ground, the CR-V is definitely not going to be what you want. The Passport will give you that extra height. Now you will see some differences in the overall design of the side view mirrors. Again, a little bit more squared off with the Passport compared to what we see with the CR-V. You can see that both models have the roof rails, but we're going to see a much larger and more useful version here with the Passport that will allow for a little more functionality. As we take a look at the rear, again, you can see those differences in the body lines, in the design of the tail lights. Depending on what it is you want, well, you can go with that. And tell me what you think about the differences here between having the Passport name stamped into not only the front end, but here in the rear as well. We don't have that on the CR-V. But the biggest difference between the two, beyond a lot of things, is going to be available powertrains. The non-hybrid trim levels of the CR-V offer a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 190 horsepower and 179 pounds-feet of torque. And your MPGs, if you go with that 1.5-liter, are going to be 28 city, 33 highway, and 30 combined. If you choose to go with the hybrid version of the CR-V, you're looking at a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder paired to dual electric motors, putting out a total of 204 horsepower and 247 pounds-feet of torque. There's also a difference in the transmissions between the non-hybrid and the hybrid version of the CR-V. Non-hybrid is a CVT, hybrid will have an E or electronic CVT. And how about the MPGs on the hybrid version? 38 city, 33 highway, 35 combined, and 2.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you want the 6-cylinder under the hood, you'll have to go with the Passport. It's going to be the 3.5 liter dual overhead cam V6. Puts out 285 horsepower and 262 pounds-feet of torque. As I mentioned earlier, it's mated to a totally different type of transmission. In this case, it's going to be a 10-speed automatic. Let's take a look at the MPGs. I don't know how well you can see this, so I'll tell you what they are. 18 city, 23 highway, 20 combined, and 5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. With the Passport, you will find an 18.5 gallon gas tank. And whether you go with a hybrid powertrain or that 1.5 liter 4-cylinder I mentioned earlier with the CR-V, you'll have the same 14-gallon gas tank. If you need to do any towing, the Passport is going to win out regardless. Max towing is 5,000 pounds. Now, if you want to know the towing numbers on the CR-V, if you go with the hybrid powertrain, you're looking at 1,000 pounds of towing capacity. If you go non-hybrid, you're looking at 1,500 pounds of towing capacity. Cargo capacity ranges between 39.3 to 76.5 cubic feet. 44 to 83.8 cubic feet is what you will find with the Passport. Now, depending again on if you go hybrid or non-hybrid, you're going to find some differences with the CR-V. The non-hybrid version of the CR-V comes with a spare tire. The hybrid does not. Being that there is no hybrid powertrain for the Passport as of 2026, you're going to find a spare tire here no matter what. We'll just take a look at some of the differences in the rear cargo area of the two models. We're going to find our 12-volt power outlet and some cargo lighting here, a little bit of space behind the fender wells for additional storage capacity. But you will find quite a bit more space here with the Passport. Again, space in this area, but you also have additional space right here. We also have a power outlet here, and we're going to have something else. I'll show you this in a little bit better view here. But a panoramic sunroof with the Passport. You still have the conventional style sunroof with the CR-V. As you would expect, the seating area for your backseat passengers, while it's not lacking in space, there's actually a reasonable amount of space back here with the CR-V. You're going to have quite a bit more with the Passport. But here is a big difference in the backseat area. On the CR-V, you can recline and change the position of the seat backs. You cannot do that on the Passport. Something to keep in mind for those of you that have asked me about that in the past. There's your conventional size sunroof for the CR-V. And we'll find our fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in, a seat pocket on the rear of the passenger side seat, air conditioning vents, and 2 USB ports for rear seat passengers. And here's a look at the door panel, the door bins, and the armrest. Like I said, more space right there than what we had with the CR-V. Here's that big difference. The Passport offering the panoramic sunroof. This is the only style of sunroof available for the Passport. You will find a rear seat pocket on the back of both seats. Once again, air conditioning vents and USB ports. Another power outlet right here. Now, both of these models are TrailSports that we're looking at today, but you can see there are a lot more accents throughout the interior of the Passport than there are with the CR-V. We'll have similar style fold-down armrests with cup holders built in with both models. The sticker price on the CR-V Hybrid TrailSport is $40,650. You have a power adjustable driver's seat with lumbar support, but you will find a manually adjustable passenger seat in this situation. Nice large armrest and door bins for the driver and passenger sides, all of your typical controls for your power windows, mirrors, locks, all that good stuff. You have the power tailgate on both models, and both steering wheels are tilt and telescopically adjustable. Here is the driver's display for the CR-V, and something else that we need to talk about is going to be safety features. You have adaptive cruise control. Both models have Honda Sensing, which is going to be adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and traffic jam assist. And we'll find a 9-inch screen. Now, as of 2026, for the CR-V, you will find a 9-inch screen across all trim levels, regardless of hybrid or not. Wireless capabilities for your smartphone with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but there's a big difference here. You'll notice the difference in the look of the screen on the CR-V. Unless you go with the CR-V Hybrid Sport Touring, you will have this screen. And the difference is that if you're familiar with the CR-V that we've had since 2023, you had all of the icons here. You could scroll your way back and forth. So this is a little bit more minimalized than what we had. Something else that's going to be a difference as far as availability. Both models have the same setup as far as the multi-view rear view camera go. However, on the Passport, if you go with higher trim levels, you can have multiple camera views, front, rear, overhead, everywhere you need to see, you can see. Very nice. You can even have the trail cam. That's there as well. So a lot going on. Dual zone climate control here. Now we only have the heated seats here, but you can have heated steering wheel, all that good stuff. And another big difference, the shifter. We're going to have a conventional style shifter here. Now something that will be standard now once again on the CR-V as of 2026, what you see right there, that's going to be your wireless charging pad. You've got your connectivity here, as you can see, a couple of USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet, drive mode selector, hill start assist. You can see what all is here. And while there is a nice amount of space here for the driver and passenger in the front seat area, you're definitely going to have more over there with the Passport. The sticker price on this Passport TrailSport is $50,650. What else do you get for the price beyond what I've shown you here? Well, you're going to find a little bit of additional storage space above the glove box area, larger armrests and door bins. Because it's an overall larger vehicle, you will also find a power adjustable passenger seat. Now, you won't find lumbar support on the passenger side. You will on the driver's side. You can also raise and lower the height of the driver's seat, but not the passenger seat. There's your upper console, very similar to what we have with the CR-V, including the sunglass holder. That's always nice to have, and all of your controls over here. Something that we don't have on the CR-V TrailSport is this button, and that is the button for your power folding side view mirrors. You do have manually folding over there, but in case you were wondering, that's there. Both models also have blind spot monitoring. And again, we'll have adaptive cruise control, all of our controls here, the driver's display. The big difference, actually two, one of them I already talked to you about, but one of them is going to be that here instead of the 9-inch screen, we have the 12.3-inch screen. So some of you might say, you know what, I like that a little bit more. If it's worth it to you, spend the extra money, go with the Passport over the CR-V. It just depends on what it is you want. Now, once again, we're going to have our multi-view rear view camera. But like I said, depending on trim level, you can have a lot more views than just this, including a front view camera. So quite a bit going on where that is concerned as far as that goes. And something else that I like to show people here, let me show you an interesting setting here. And that setting is going to be in vehicle settings. Now, you'll notice that we have platinum white as the exterior color of the on-screen Passport. Now, this only changes on the screen. So we're going to go to menu right here. If you want to change the body color, we're going to go right here. See how it says body color? It will change it to whatever color your Passport is. Now, like I said, because I want people to understand this is based on comments I've received in the past. I'm not saying you can change the actual exterior color itself, only what you see on the screen here. So depending on the color of your Passport, you can change that, or maybe your personal preference. It just depends on what your situation is and what you like to see. The lighter colors do show up better. Now, we'll have our dual zone climate control here, but we actually have 3 zones of climate control in the CR-V. We only had 2 in the Passport. We only had 2 in the CR-V. So you have your rear zone right there. You can control that right here, as you can see, or we can go back to the front seat area. Also our heated seats, and we'll find our wireless charging pad, basically the same setup we had here in this area with our USB and 12-volt power outlets. But there's that other difference I was telling you about. How many of you would rather see a conventional style shifter like we had with the CR-V over here in the Passport? Now, one thing that is going to be different is the design and layout here where your cup holders are. So if you had that conventional style shifter and you pulled it back to drive, well, it could be in the way of the cups that are sitting right here. Kind of have to reach around or behind that. Just something to consider. Drive mode selector, hill start assist. You have the auto stop start right here, idle stop. You can turn that on and off, and you can see what else we have here. A different design with the center console as well. More space, that's for sure, because it's a larger vehicle, but you're also going to have that larger sticker price. We'll start out driving the CR-V, a comfortable ride quality, and while it doesn't have as much power as the Passport does, that doesn't mean it won't get down the road quickly. Especially when you go into sport mode, it's not going to let you down. If you need to deal with fast-moving traffic out on the interstate or whatever the situation is that you're dealing with, it's going to do the job. It may not be ultra quick, but it still gets the job done while giving you some pretty solid gas mileage numbers. The ride quality is good. Now, you might notice a minor difference in ride quality with the CR-V TrailSport, but not so much that it should be a deterrent. Easy to see out of, all of your controls are easy to get to, plenty of room here in the driver's seat. I don't feel cramped at all. And somebody who's over 6 feet tall or down around 5 feet tall can adjust things accordingly with the power adjustable driver's seat and the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Overall, I'd say the interior, as far as technology goes with the CR-V, is very easy to deal with. I don't find it to be complicated to learn, to use anything here. It's very nice. The one thing I would love to see Honda do in the future, obviously it's not going to happen for 2026, now that we have a CR-V TrailSport, it would be nice to see those same camera options that you can have on other TrailSport models, whether it's with the Pilot or the Passport, where you can have that button right here on the lever for controlling your windshield wipers. You push that and it brings up your cameras, your multiple cameras, not just those 3 rear view cameras, all over your vehicle. It just makes a big difference in being able to see around the vehicle depending on what you're dealing with and what your situation is, but just nice to have those extra views. Brake pedal and gas pedal, easy to manage, whether you go hybrid or non-hybrid. That's always a good thing, something that people ask about. But if you're looking for that tighter turning radius, I think it goes without saying that you need to choose the CR-V. And we'll get out in the Passport, the larger of the two. Definitely more room here for those that need more interior space, but just as much adjustability built into both models between the steering wheel and the driver's seat. All of that's going to be here, easy to see out of. And in this case, for those of you that don't want a turbocharged engine under the hood, but you're saying, Tom, I also don't want a hybrid powertrain. Well, between the CR-V and the Passport, this is definitely your option, because of the fact that if you go non-hybrid with the CR-V, you're going to wind up with that 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And the Passport will get up and go just fine. I've driven both models in sport mode, but regardless of the driving mode you're in, they get up and go and take care of whatever it is you need. You've got all those great safety features that I mentioned to you earlier in the video that both models have. Honda sensing, your blind spot monitoring, all of that's going to be here. And again, everything very easy to learn and use. And while you have a completely different screen, it's just as simple to use. Some people may prefer the screen over what's in the 26 CR-V version compared to the 23 through 25. Like I said earlier, I think I said it in the video earlier, but if you're saying, Tom, I don't like that new 9-inch screen that's standard across all trim levels. Well, if you want the screen that has been, as far as the 9-inch screen with all the icons, somewhat similar to what we see here, not identical, but similar, then you'll have to go with the hybrid Sport Touring as far as the CR-V goes. But one way or another, plenty of room here, actually more room, which should not be a surprise, being that this is a mid-size SUV when compared to the much more, maybe not a lot smaller, but it is smaller CR-V. And both models definitely take care of business. They get you around just fine, easy to deal with, easy technology to learn and use, easy to drive, and plenty of space in the front and back seat areas. So tell me which model you prefer and why out of the Passport and the CR-V. I'm curious to know. And when it comes to the CR-V, which powertrain do you prefer? Always curious to receive your feedback. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda Bossier City for loaning me both of these SUVs so I could tell you all about them, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would, please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.